We're back for season 2.
Yes, it's bigger. It's badder. It's
Oh, just get on with it.
bad scripts.
Hello and welcome back to Bad Scripts presents The Last Resort, Season 2. Well, we're many episodes in now to the season. We're probably halfway through the summer, and it's time to introduce the man, yes, the man who for me makes it all possible, and this person that stops this looking like a random man ranting into his microphone on the internet. So please give it up and welcome Mr. Mike Collier. Hi, Mike.
Hello, Steve. That was rather nice. Thank you very much. And do you know many people that rant on microphones on the internet?
There are many, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, that do their little rants, and
Is that
occasionally
called a
I catch them.
Trumpism? Is that a Trumpism right there?
I don't know. I don't know what I'd call it, but that's the way of the world now. There's a lot of people that go out there and give their opinions out on the internet, and some people take that as fact. But
I was thinking one thing. At some point, I'm going to have to do this all kick-ass introduction for you. I'm going to have to start this off at some point with this mega, because you always give me such good intros, and I always feel quite bad that I just go, "Hello, Steve."
Well,
so at some point, I'm going to have to think of something really good.
Okay, well, maybe if we do a live one of these, you can introduce me, and we can do something along those ways. So that's something we could plan for the future and have you doing. Now, I've been thinking, we always have a chat at the beginning of our episodes, and we have a little discussion about something that's happening or thought we've had. You normally put a question to me. I decided today I'm going to put a question to you. Okay,
Ooh.
so I'm going to ask you now something about the past. About you, very personal. Okay. I want you to think of, if you can describe to me an article of clothing which in the past you treasured and you wouldn't be now seen dead in. Something that you used to wear back when you were a man about town, a young and healthy bachelor. You used to put it on and you feel $1 million, but guess what? You'd never wear it now.
Oh, geez.
Do you have a piece of clothing? Did you have a piece of clothing like that?
I haven't changed my wardrobe since 2004, to be honest with you. So no, I'm just kidding. What a good question. Okay, so I do actually have a chosen ensemble, which I don't think would work quite now, and I am hoping against all hope that this ensemble, which is currently in my attic, will make a comeback, and that's why. And this will help justify. That's why I do a lot of running and working out. I've got to keep in shape so I can fit into these clothes for when they come back in fashion. So you ready for this?
Go for it.
Okay. Really tight white shirt.
Okay.
3 buttons undone. Short sleeved.
Ooh, full Simon Cowell on this one, yeah?
Yeah, all the way. Black leather vintage jacket.
Okay.
Which I bought from a charity shop for about 20 quid. And the lining inside the jacket is actually gone. But I think it's a 1970s vintage kind of leather jacket. At least it smells like it should be from the 1970s. And the piece de resistance. Light blue, slightly faded, boot cut jeans.
Oh, are they a stonewash?
They are a stonewash. They are boot cut, and the flare, not the kind of flary flare, but you remember, like in the kind of early 2000s, they were the boot cut. They were really big, and a pair of pair of boots, to go with it. But that is boot cut jeans. I love boot cut jeans, and I have a lot of boot cut jeans, which now apparently you can't wear because it's not, skinny jeans took over, and then super skinny, and then constrain your nuts jeans came in, and I was never quite one for them.
But not anymore. Apparently, regular jeans are kind of the thing now, so I've switched back to them. I mean, it was never good. Skinny jeans on a guy like me never really looked that good. And I think once you get to a certain age as well, you start to get into that Peter Stringfellow phase when you try and be too trendy. Do you know what I mean?
You kind of look a bit like Shrek. If you look look at Shrek's body shape with skinny jeans, where he's got like kind of
what are you
really
trying to
skinny
say
legs.
about my weight,
No,
Michael?
no, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm saying we look like Shrek. If you
Yeah.
see a guy in skinny jeans, it's like this ass, and then these really spindly legs. But okay, my chosen article that I could not be seen dead in walking about the streets right now, because then that would really give my age away, is bootcut jeans.
Yeah.
Steve, what about you?
Okay, so there's a few. There's been a few disasters in the past. When I was a teenager, I jumped on the trend of the baggy jeans, and so I don't know if you remember Eclipse gear. So it was like it was called like Spliffy or things like that. There was like a picture of
Yes.
a picture of a kid. You could get them at the market. Like you'd get like a utility waistcoat with a guy smoking a spliff on them, and then you get the big baggy t-shirts and big baggy almost combat trousers with loads of pockets and tassels and stuff hanging off them. I thought I was the nuts in those, and they are the saddest outfit that you could possibly imagine. I don't know what I was thinking. I got caught up in the hype, and I am eternally embarrassed by what I did there. So yeah, that was I think that would be my chosen outfit.
That was like a skateboarder type approach, wasn't it? They're kind of really, they're so relaxed, they like almost sit off your ass instead of on them.
Yeah, but it was kind of there was a crossover kind of weed junkie weed den skater surfer dude chilled vibe that went with it all. So yeah, it was fun. I mean, but I will say one that I get the most grief for, especially from my wife when she sees the old pictures of our boy band, is our shiny shirts with the tassels on the arms. So we had the drawstrings on the arms. Remember, we all bought them from a shop.
They look like recycled shopping bags.
Yeah,
if I'm going to be honest with you,
they were awesome. We wore them on stage. We wore them on nights out. You know,
you
we
could see your
thought
nipples.
we were.
I never owned a shirt. I took the other approach. If you remember, you guys all had the white and blacks, really shiny shirts where you can see nipples sticking through them. I, on the other hand, with the thinnest arms in the world, decided to have a tank top with sequins on it. Do you remember that one?
I've got the white shiny shirt. There's a picture of you in the white shiny shirt. So there was shininess, there was that going on, but no, there wasn't much nipplage. I went for the black, which kind of helped.
Black.
There was not too much of that, so that definitely helped. But you know what I saw? I went this weekend. I went to a theme park with the family, and I was sat in the theme park near London. And they had a KFC in there. So we sat in the KFC, and this kid walks in with his family. He had a global hypercolor t-shirt on, and he had curtain haircut with an undercut.
No way. No.
I was like, is it 1993 again? What's going on? And there was
It's
about 3 or 4 kids I saw through the day that would looked exactly like we did.
We said the 90s would come back.
And it's bizarre. And I was just like, I said to my wife, I was like, wow, somebody just time traveled, and she did. She thought it was funny. So yeah, she asked.
Well, I also had the undercut curtains, as we all did at kind of like the age of 16 to 17. I've got to say though, Steve, just going back to the jeans conversation, were you a jeans washer? Did you wash your jeans?
Well, there's a school of thought, isn't there, around that? Or there's many schools of thought around this. They reckon you should wear your jeans 7 times before you wash them. That's the average number of times. I was watching a thing the other day, and it was saying how often you should wear. Obviously, underwear, change it every time. But there was other things, especially for ecology's purposes. Wash your jeans every maybe 7 times you wear them. So maybe once a week if you wear them every day.
Well, I heard you put them in. You could put them in the freezer, and then you freeze them. And then you just give them a wash down, like a light wash down, then freeze them. And then if you've got anything sticking to it, like chewing gum or whatever, you could just pick it off that way.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever washed my bootcut jeans.
Nice. Some serious bacteria growing in there, and have their own ecosystem now.
That's why Febreze was invented. But so what you've seen at the weekend is a resurgence of the 90s fashion is starting to come back, and I hope not, because let's not forget the 90s fashion was not that great.
I mean, if I have to go back to wearing a check shirt under a United Colours of Benetton sweater, and my Nike Air Max that I used to wear back then, thinking I was the mutts nuts.
Now, you were rich.
Absolutely. Hey, that was birthday and Christmas for those. Anyway, we should talk podcast, because that's what we're here for. We've got some new scenes for everybody. things are really heating up now. We're in the middle of the year. The season's really cracking on. So without further ado, I think we should just dive in there and find out what's happening down at Camp Resorts. Exterior chalet block night. It's mid-evening across the resort and the sun is finally setting. We move along the bottom level of the chalets. As a door opens, we see Kelly stood in the doorway, wearing just her pink silk slip. She leans outside, looks up and down the line, then turns to the person stood behind her.
All right, the coast is clear, if you're quick. Which way do you want me to walk again? Bloody hell, Mushy. How many times do I have to go through this? You go right? Can't you just use my real name? Well, I thought that was your aim.
Mushy pauses hesitantly behind her. Kelly turns back towards him.
I'm kidding, all right?
She steps into the room and gives Mushy a long kiss, squeezing his buttocks firmly with both hands, before stepping back outside and having another look.
Right, booty call. On you go.
Kelly smacks his behind as he steps out of the doorway. As Mushy passes, he mutters to her.
Huh? Is that all I am? A nighttime booty call, then? Aye. What's the problem with that? You guys do it all the time, so why can't I? Besides, I didn't hear you complaining 15 minutes ago. It's a win-win situation. So keep your mouth shut, and you get to enjoy all of this.
Kelly lifts the bottom of her slip to reveal her long, shapely leg to Mushy, who looks her up and down, nervously, before exiting the chalet fully.
Fair enough, then.
Mushy turns and is about to give Kelly another kiss. She sees this happening, sighs, and quickly closes the door, which almost meets his lips. He looks left, then right, then left again. We follow us as he walks to the left. Turning the corner, Mushy bumps into Wayne, who is walking purposely towards the chalet lines. Richie, you not on shift tonight?
Yeah. I mean, no, Wayne. Just stretching my legs.
Long way to come for that. You're in the vans on the other side, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I was just, visiting people over here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
There's an awkward silence as Wayne looks at Mushy. What's going on? You seem a bit edgy.
Oh, I'm all right. Are you all right?
Of course I'm all right.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So what you doing down here, boss? Thought you had a place off site.
I have some business over here. Not that that's any of your concern.
Cool.
As fun as this little friendly interaction is, why don't you toddle off home, eh? Don't let me keep you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. See ya.
Mushy turns and starts walking back towards the chalet block. Wayne right on his shoulder. Vans are that way. Wayne points over to the other direction.
Yeah. Of course.
Mushy makes a U-turn and strides off in the opposing direction. Wayne stands and watches him. As Mushy gets to the corner, he stops and turns around. Wayne is still looking in his direction. Mushy waves at Wayne as he disappears from view. Wayne sighs, looks around and continues making his way to Kelly's chalet, muttering under his breath, "Knobhead." He lightly taps on the door, waits, and taps again. After a few moments, the chalet door opens. This time Kelly is dressed in a pink top and bottom pyjamas.
Oh, what did you forget this time?
Kelly looks up and sees that it is Wayne stood there and not Mushy. She looks suddenly flustered.
Wayne, I wasn't expecting you.
I thought I'd surprise you.
It's a wee bit late, is it not?
Wayne looks a little crestfallen, still stood on the doorstep. Who were you talking to just then?
When?
Right there, when you answered the door.
No one?
Oh, right. Just sounded like you had somebody round.
Oh, it's a staff chalet, Wayne. There's always folks around wanting stuff, you know.
Wayne nods. Well, can I come in then?
I just got ready for my bed.
I bought you some snacks and a bottle of that wine you like, and I thought you might like to spend some time together. It's been ages since I saw you.
What are you talking about? We see each other every day.
You know what I mean. You and me time. Alone time. Kelly smiles sweetly at Wayne, caressing his face.
Oh, you poor thing. Are you feeling a wee bit lonely?
Oh, yeah, really lonely. Are you going to come to my rescue and give me some special company? Wayne steps forward. Kelly stops him, holding her hand to his chest.
You're 2 hours too late, I'm afraid.
What do you mean?
I'm ready to go to sleep, Wayne.
Come on. I have some good news. I'll make it worth your while.
Not the now, eh?
Well, that's not fair. Kelly looks affronted.
Fair? You think turning up on my doorstep looking for a late night booty call is fair? Thinking you can just appear with some Lambrini, a freshly flannel cock, and I'd just shag you like a cheap slapper? Have you no respect for me at all?
Wayne looks very uncomfortable and tries to eject, but she's far too deep in her rant as her voice gets louder and louder.
Oh, aye. Give Kelly a knock. Get my hole in whenever I feel like it. She's easy. Well, you listen to me. I am not. Now, so, you better start respecting my boundaries. And next time you want to just pop around, make sure you speak to me first. Am I clear?
All right, I get it. That's not what I was trying to do. But yeah, fair enough.
Good. Now, what's in the bag?
Wayne looks down at the bag, then back at Kelly. Well, there's the wine, some ice cream, and crisps.
What kind of crisps?
Space Raiders.
Pickled onion?
Beef.
Shame. I only like pickled onion. I don't know what accent that was then. Sorry, I was just Yorkshire.
Pickled onion.
Shame. I only like pickled onion.
Oh, yeah. Right. Gotcha.
Well, it's late. I better take the ice cream before it melts.
Kelly outstretches her hand. Wayne then reaches into the bag and takes out the tub. He hands it to Kelly.
Cookies and cream. Nice.
Do you want the wine too? Kelly stops and thinks for a moment.
I dinna drink Lambrini. I drink Lambrusco. Give that cheap shite to the next skunk you're planning to visit.
There's only you, Kelly. Kelly stops short at that and suddenly smiles sweetly.
Oh, come here, you big dafty.
Wayne steps forward and they hug. They hold it for around 20 seconds.
Who's counting that?
I was just saying, one,
right,
two.
one.
Kelly's definitely the one counting that count.
I hope that's the wine bottle poking me like that.
Kelly steps back and Wayne has a toothy grin on his face.
Guess not. Well, good night, Wayne, and thanks for the cheat.
Kelly attempts to close the door. But what about tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Me and you? Out for dinner? Officially? Kelly looks a little unsettled, but quickly regains her composure.
Aye. Well, we'll see, yeah?
We'll see?
Are we even allowed?
Well, I checked. Since you're part of the management team now, it's kind of allowed. That's why I came around to tell you. Finally, we can make it official.
Well, something to think about then.
What's there to think about?
Why are you putting all this pressure on me?
I'm not. Just forget it then.
Fine.
There is silence.
Night then.
Night. Oh, and before I forget, have a word with that mushy fella. He was acting all shady when I ran into him.
Eh? Shady? When was that?
A few minutes ago, walking about the chalet lines, just round the corner.
Oh, all right. I'll have a word with him, right? All right, night then.
Kelly closes the door, leaving Wayne stood there motionless. The door opens once again.
You know what? On second thoughts,
Kelly's hand extends towards Wayne, who smiles, thinking she is beckoning him in. She pats him on the cheek before taking the bag and slamming the door shut once again. So a close call for Mushy and Kelly there. Oh,
I just feel sorry for Wayne. I think he's none the wiser, is he?
that's
feel sorry for him.
Can you ever feel sorry for Wayne the way he is? I think it's difficult to drum up sympathy for the man the way he behaves with everybody else, is it not?
Well, I think that could be the very first scene where he's never eating.
We don't know. He didn't sneak a packet of crisps. Yeah, he has food with him. He just hasn't had the time to eat any of them. He planned to eat the crisps and probably the ice cream as well, but it didn't happen during that period. So, yeah.
Steve, have you ever had a late night visitor who comes with a bag of ice cream, some cheap wine, and crisps? Have you ever? How would you deal with that? If you've got that knock on that door, how would you deal with it?
Well, I mean, it all depends who's knocking, doesn't it? I think, if you're young, free, and single, you find the person attractive, you want to spend a bit of time with them, they're bringing you ice cream, especially if it's cookies and cream or something, you're thinking, well, what does it hurt?
That's wasted on me, I'm afraid. I've got a thing for milk, so I'd be like, what the hell is that?
It's not a good idea to fill you up with dairy products, is it? Not if you want to have a romantic evening.
Definitely not. And Lambrini and pickled onion monster munch. I mean, it's not the most romantic food that Wayne has chosen. Let's just a Lambrini, the cheapest sparkling wine you can get.
But that's the problem, isn't it? He's misheard her say Lambrusco, which again is not the poshest of wines. Let's be honest. Lambrusco is not much better.
She's a classy girl.
It's definitely a step above Lambrini. I mean, we're nearly at the Buckfast and Thunderbird level there, but not quite.
No, but I don't know where he's going. So cookies and cream ice cream, Lambrini, and beef flavored
beef,
Space
not
Raiders.
pickled onion, yeah,
not pickled onion.
But that's the thing, isn't it? He's trying to appeal to her senses of, well, yeah. I mean, he didn't bring Iron Brew, so there wasn't any of that in there. I mean, that's probably sort of xenophobic to say that, but am I wrong? So yeah, hopefully he's thinking I can just make it more attractive and appealing thing for me to come in with these gifts I bring. But yeah, but one thing I did say was the getting a hole, and I think we talked about this during the writing process, because it's not a phrase as a I say thoroughbred, that's not the right word. Purebred Englishman. I've not heard that phrase. I've not heard that term. But obviously, you've assured me it is a well-known colloquialism.
I fought to keep this in for a reason, and it is a very known saying, especially kind of in the Glasgow area. So getting my hole is a term meaning I'm going to have sex. I'm going to get my hole tonight. And that is,
right.
I heard that a long, long, long time ago. Someone said it, and I'm like, and I was the same as you. I was like, "Oh, what does that mean?" And they went, "That means I'm gonna get a bit." And I was like, "Oh, lovely." So, so I know when we were, you'd done some meditative work on this, and I'm going to change that. And I really had to fight. I was like, no, if there's one word I have to fight for, I have to fight for that, because that is, if anyone's Scottish, if you are Scottish listening to this, you will definitely know that's a saying. Or prove us wrong and tell me that I'm absolutely mental. But I think it's interesting that she and the dichotomy of the booty call idea is an interesting one, isn't it? And we went into that knowingly that she's using Mushy as a booty call. Wayne wants to, and she accuses Wayne of doing the same thing. I don't think Wayne's intentions were quite aligned to that, but
no.
Isn't it an interesting way that she's endorsed that over here?
It's the hypocrisy of it, and she's so, I think, faux appalled by it, because that's exactly the behavior she's been exerting. She's been using her power on Mushy, who, let's not say Mushy's not into it, because he's a young lad. There's an attractive girl saying, "Come round for some no holes barred,
and showing a bit of thigh and a pink slip."
Exactly. But again, she's manipulating the situation when she wants it. So it's a little bit, there's a lot of control there. And I think there's the undertone that if he doesn't do as he's asked, then she could make things a little bit more difficult for him.
And I think that's the only bit. I don't think there's anything wrong with what Kelly's doing. She can make her own choices and her decisions, and we respect that, considering that she's not real. But
But then
you know,
there's also the sense.
It's the hypocrite. It's
Yeah.
the hypocrite in her, isn't it?
But it is, and the leading Wayne on for her own nefarious purposes. So she knows what she wants from that relationship. She knows how she feels about Wayne. She's not really interested in Wayne. She's not got desires on him. She doesn't want to be in a relationship with him. Wayne was useful to get her where she is. But she has to kind of keep him sweet for now, at least.
How long for? Because let's not forget, we are halfway through the season. This has been going on for months now.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the point, isn't it? Once you've got a season out of the way, you proved yourself. If it's if it's eventless, if there's no major drama, you've proved yourself in the role. You've not got to justify it anymore, and you can let him down and say, it's not working. It's not you. It's me. Blah blah blah. And then you've got that platform to move on from, and you've got that position of power. That's where I think Kelly's brain is working. String him along long enough that basically justify my existence.
Good chat, good discussion.
Cool. Well, let's move on then and see what else is happening down on the resort. Interior dance studio day. Ali is stretching, preparing for the dance rehearsal. Around her are several members of the cast in various stages of warm-up. A clique of girls are giggling and looking at a magazine article. Robin is sat on a table at the far side of the rehearsal room, with his legs crossed, staring at the ceiling rafters. Ali smiles at the group of girls. The head girl snarls and returns to her giggling gang. Robin sees this and makes his way over to Ali. I see you've managed to piss off the elite.
Why? What have I done?
Cass, stick together. I think you dropped everyone at the pub the other night.
Really? That's why the coven of bitches are snarling at me?
Don't you mean witches?
No.
Well, I can see you're trying to make friends then.
We have friends, remember?
What's that supposed to mean?
I just don't like the way this is. We're all supposed to be working here together, but we're encouraged to walk around acting like we're better than everyone else. It's not right.
Well, that's Bernie for you. He's old school. He believes performers should be a cut above the rest. That's show business, darling.
Yeah, well, I don't like it. Besides, pretty ironic given the show is an absolute mess.
It'll all come together. Supposedly they always do.
I'm not so sure. He keeps making endless changes to the story, the script, the choreography. 1 minute we're rehearsing this song, and suddenly, boom, it's not working, so we start on another. Backwards and forwards, on and on. So quit.
Ali and Robin's head dart sideways as they see the head girl, tall, slim and blonde, staring down at them. Robin looks down, embarrassed. Ali maintains eye contact.
I was just saying, yeah, you seem to say a lot for someone with no prior stage experience.
Mike, you chose a very interesting accent there, and now I don't feel like you're going to get through this scene. you committed yourself to something ridiculous, and now you're
I'm going to keep going. I don't know why she's got all this.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It's like
it just happened. I felt the part. She just flowed out of me. It's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah. I've had a lot of stage experience. Or have you? Being the lead in your local amateur dramatic club. No, I'll do it. Yeah. I'll do it. Sorry, I'll do it. Right, okay. Oh, have you? Being the lead in your local amateur dramatic club doesn't mean experience.
If you wrote these lines with the accent in mind and with the list in mind, you wouldn't have used any of these words.
Oh, God, I've got a big one, right?
That's what she said. Oh, dear.
Maybe, but I'm still Principal Cast, aren't I? Take a look around you. Every single one of these have either been in the West End. I can do it, hold on. Take a look around you. Every single one of these has either been in the West End or on the dance circuit for years, working hard, proving themselves, earning their place. You, on the other hand, well, you got lucky. It happens sometimes, but that doesn't mean shit to me. The fact that you're a principal. So next time you feel like expressing your unwanted opinion about how shit this show is, remember the talent around you. Have I made myself clear? Not really, no.
I'm not surprised with that list. Sorry, the head girl's face suddenly goes a different shade of red. Ali, just leave it.
No. So you disagree with me then? Over what? That this show is a mess. I trust Bernie. If I were you, you should too. Got it. Loud and clear.
The head girl starts to walk away before turning around once again.
Oh, and Alison, it's Ali. Next time you're late for rehearsals, I'll fine you. £20 a time.
Most of the other performers stop their stretching to see what Ali will say. Ali smiles through gritted teeth.
Got it. Thank you.
The head girl gives Ali a dirty look and makes her way to the other side of the studio.
What a bitch.
You didn't do yourself any favours there. Should be all over you now.
I wasn't even late this morning. She told me to fill up the jugs of water.
Makes a change. That's normally me who has to do that.
All because I didn't leave with you lot.
Yeah?
Well, where did you go?
Nowhere. Back to the vans and to bed. It's a bit of a letdown, really. What did you get up to?
We stayed out. A few more drinks. Couldn't get back on site because that mushy didn't have his pass. Adam managed to get us back in and we went to his for a bit.
You all went back to Adam's van?
Yeah. It got a bit weird though.
Adam?
No, not Adam. They have this guy living with them, Paul from the fairground.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
Well, he started offering us drinks and was cracking on to Paula. Mushy wakes up and insults him, and he literally throws an ashtray at his head.
Mushy threw an ashtray at his head?
No, Paul threw it at Mushy's head.
Oh, what happened then?
Oh, we left, obviously.
Sounds like a strange night.
Nah, it was funny. A good night. That made everyone sausage and chips.
Well, that sounds like Party Central. I'm glad I wasn't missed.
It was good. You should have been there.
Let's not get into that again.
They're your friends too, and I'm sure they do miss you. But you can't keep dissing yourself and expect to get invited. It doesn't work like that.
You did.
And look what's happened. I'm the new water girl.
Robin laughs. Well, at least you're not the understudy, having to learn every single part in this show changes every 2 minutes. I know that unless I push someone off the stage, I'm never going to get to perform any one of them. Ali sighs and gives Robin a hug.
Stick with it. Your day'll come, my lovely.
Bernie bursts into the dance studio. Right, everyone. First places, please. We're going from Act 2, Scene 1. Everyone gets into their associated positions and waits for Bernie's cue. Bernie walks around the performers, watching and tutting. He takes a step back to the front and looks once again. Something's not quite right. Let's try something different. Ali looks over at Robin and pulls a face, saying, "Here we go again." Robin tries not to giggle. Ali looks to her right to see the head girl glaring at her. Ali recomposes herself and tries to ignore the stare of hate coming in her direction. Ooh, it's trouble at Mill.
Trouble at the mill. There's something's going on here. Thank you for being so patient with me and me trying to get those lines out. Do you know what? Yeah, you have to differentiate the characters, but I probably went a bit extreme there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought for a minute she was related to Karen, but
was she sounding a bit like Karen?
It started to get a bit that way at times, but that's okay because
That's
there are
okay.
people
Regional
who sound
dialects.
like that. Exactly.
Yeah, regional dialects. It's
yeah,
okay.
and some
It's
people
cool.
have thicker tongues than other people. It's not a bad thing, That's just the way the world is, and we are a better place for having all that diversity, is what I say.
Absolutely.
Interior entertainment's office. Day. Eddie is sat on a desk. He has a pile of mic cables on the desk, and he is winding them over his arm and attaching Velcro strips to them. John is sat on a chair next to Eddie. They are deep in conversation as Bernie walks in, wearing an Aran cardigan and a long floaty scarf. Ah, boys, so glad you could make it. Now, John, tell me, have you sorted out those bloody permits with the council? I will not have my creativity stunted by these backward yokel councillors. John sighs as he turns to address Bernie.
Bernie, I don't know how many times I need to tell you. It's not about the council dragging their feet. We have 2 massive transformers on site and a backup generator, but the power demand you're making would knock out half the eastern coast.
All I'm hearing is negativity, John, darling. Tell me how you're going to solve my problem for me. Well, the problem is those bloody lasers, Bernie. As soon as I plug one of them in, it blows the fuses. You got 6 of the flaming things. There is no way it's going to fly. Where did you get the things? It was a deal I did with a man I met in Thailand. You can't buy them anywhere in Europe. Are they even legal? I mean, look directly into one of them, you end up with laser eye surgery.
We just can't make it work, Bernie. You can't put that kind of law through the system.
Listen, I've never had any problem with my load in London. I don't want problems, I want solutions. Bernie scowls angrily.
I get your frustrations, Bernie, but there's no way we can do it. You're going to have to lose the lasers and half the pyros, or they won't sign it off. We can't risk all the kitchens just so you can make a few blasts and pops.
Bernie through gritted teeth. Now you listen to me, both of you. I will not compromise on my vision. There is too much at stake here. Do I have to go to Glen with this? I think we all know how that will end now, don't we?
I don't know what to tell you, Bernie. Either make the changes or we can't guarantee the safety of the system or this resort. What do you think Glenn will prefer?
Glenn has made himself perfectly clear to me. So, John, this is on you. Get it done, and I don't want to hear any more of it, all right? Bernie turns on his heels and storms out of the office. He just won't get it through his thick skull.
We've done all we can, Eddie. Make sure you write this up and log it.
And then what do we do? Give him what he wants? John sighs and looks outside.
His funeral. Give him enough rope.
Eddie shrugs his shoulders and goes back to winding the cables around his arm.
So does Bernie turn on his high heels and storm out the office?
No, he just turns on his heel. You turn on your heel,
like,
that's where you quickly flip round, isn't it?
Like in Cuban heels.
Any heel. The heel that you have on your foot. It's not to do with your shoe. You're turning on your heel, so you spin quick.
I think, I'd love Bernie to be wearing a pair of tap shoes. Like he just wears tap shoes all the time.
He's got his Capezios on when he's walking around the office. It's one of them, and you're like, you're not even doing any dancing. You might do 3 or 4 steps to show the choreography, but you're still wearing your full dance gear and your pineapple jumper or something, Pineapple Studios jumper, as so many would wear. But yeah, I think Bernie and his expectations again, and where's this show? We're nearly halfway through the season. He still hasn't premiered it. There's got to be a lot of angry guests that aren't getting their full entertainment. So how's he getting away with it?
Blame the writers is all I'm going to say to that.
Idiots, absolute idiots.
They do not know what they're doing. You can tell they're just making it up as they go along, these writers.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I think they'd have some idea of what they were doing. There we go. So interesting scenes there. I think we're building up to something. Something's definitely happening.
3 very different scenes as well, all leading us the story on. And like I said, I hope these writers know what they're doing.
I don't think they've ever known what they were doing. So, Mike, it's a middle of the season thing. The whole Adam and Robin thing. It's been going on for weeks now. Is there ever going to be a resolution there? Do we think those guys are ever going to make friends, or has it gone too far now?
I don't know. Look, friends come and go. When we did work like that, you're muckers in the first, in 1 year, and then you kind of drifted apart in the second, and you attach yourself onto other people, and you just, like Rolling Stones, you just bounce around. I
still remember. It's okay, and I don't hold it back.
I've apologized for that several times since. But no, it's in keeping with, you can't replicate you can't replicate 1 year into another year, and new people come along and dynamics change. So who knows whether they'll whether they'll reconnect and become friends again, or whether, the water off a duck's back, or too much
too much under the bridge, too much water under the bridge.
Yeah, who knows? And it's not damaging the story, really, is it? I mean,
no, there's tension there. That's dramatic tension between them, which means there's that. It helps with that divide between the cast and the camp coats, because there's still that. And as Ali touched on, the fact that she's even friends with the camp coats and would go and see them, would seek them out. The rest of the cast looked down on her for that.
And inspired by our guest Alison, that came on and shared some more stories from her amazing diary that we've just taken a little few lines out and just fed it into the script. So Alison, thank you once again for that.
Yeah, much appreciated. Shout out to Ali.
Now I have a question for you, Steve. Actually,
Go for it.
Just as we close off this episode, there's that situation between Wayne and Mushy, that awkward situation where they have nothing in common, nothing to talk about, but the two of them are just alone, and they have to try and make this kind of like short, like small talk. Have you ever been in a situation like that where you've run into someone that you don't really know, but you feel compelled to talk to because you're acquaintances, or you've had some kind of interaction?
So many times, because look, we come across as extroverts doing this podcast, being performers in the past and stuff, but actually, in social situations on one-to-one, I'm quite shy with all of that thing. So when you end up in these situations, it can be a bit of a panic, And I've had it where there was somebody I worked with, and I say worked with, it been like, very minor interactions over a week. And then 4 years later, I met them at a conference and didn't know anybody else there. And then they made a beeline for me every time, and I genuinely didn't know what to say to them, because I didn't have anything in common with this person. And I mean, this is the guy I had to stop following him on Instagram because all of his pictures were just himself topless. And I didn't want my wife thinking I was just following naked men on Instagram, because she thought, she might get the wrong impression. But yeah, he just kind of, then it just became really awkward, and trying to make conversation with somebody who, one, you're not really bothered about, and two, you kind of like, I don't know enough about you. I don't feel close enough to you I don't know how my banter will come across, so I'm being slightly reserved, and you kind of feel it takes a lot of energy just to keep that conversation up. I'm gonna throw it back at you, Mike, because I know there are many stories of your awkward social interactions. So maybe you could regale us with one of those tonight.
Awkward social. So I am pretty good at trying to make conversation, find middle ground. But there was a situation where, not that long ago actually, where I ran into someone, and they decided to walk with me, and we're just walking along, and this person that I was talking to could literally take the atmosphere out of any room. It's like this gaping hole of personality just sucks all joy from conversation. And for about 20 minutes, he spoke not to me, but at me, about the fact that he didn't like the last coffee that he'd made himself or bought. I can't remember which one, but he went on. And then he started talking about the coffee that he did like and where he liked getting it. But it wasn't like a big chain that you would think about. It was like, my mum makes a really good coffee and I kind of like that one. And then, and I've just got to get my girlfriend to figure out how to do this coffee that way. And after about 20 minutes, I stopped walking and I just looked at him and I went, what the hell are you going on about, mate? Like, please stop talking to me about coffee. I have no idea what the point of this conversation is. And he looked really shocked, right? And he went quiet and then he just went, well, I was just making conversation.
Oh dear. Well, you just feel like I've tolerated this enough now, and I don't know, I find in my old age that I get a little bit less tolerant of that kind of thing, and you kind of go, yeah, you're boring me now, please stop. Try to be nice to people, but you get to a point where you're like, I'm just going to go now, okay? So nice to meet you. But
I don't mind a 2-minute conversation about the benefit and disadvantages of instant coffee. I don't need it for 20 minutes though. But he kind of he did it really slowly, but almost like he was muttering to himself at the same time. And I'm like, and I kept doing the usual, yeah, oh yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? Oh yeah, But in the end, yeah, I think like you, Steve, he pushed my patience just a bit too far. On that one as well, and then he fretted because he didn't have a pen on him, and he was like, "Do you have a pen on you? I don't have a pen on me." And I'm like, "We're in the middle of a street. Why do you need a pen? He was like, I just need a pen for later. Do you have a pen? I was like, I don't think I do have a pen. Oh, I'm going to have to go and find a pen. Oh, this is important to me, having a pen.
So important he didn't have one.
I've avoided him ever since, to be honest with you. When I see him walking on the street, I take a different direction.
Detour, duck down behind cars.
It's the coffee man.
Oh no! Oh dear. Well, it's been a fab episode, Mike. Really enjoyed it. The only thing we have to do is what we do every week, and that's get your final thoughts. So I know you'll have been thinking about this all week, and you have a real pearl for us now to regale us with. So either it's going to be a question, philosophical question for everyone out there, or you've got a statement, just a word of wisdom. What are you going to do for us this week?
So my closing thoughts to this one is, if Wayne is the kind of guy that brings Space Raiders, Lambrini, and cookies and cream ice cream, what kind of person are you? What would you bring to a booty call, Steve?
A great question. So if anybody out there wants to put that on the socials, maybe hit us up at the Bad Scripts Podcast on Instagram and at Scripts Bad on Twitter. So make sure you let us know, what is your booty call bounty bag? I'd love to hear from you. So send those in to us. But as for that, it's time for us to go. So make sure you have a great week, and we'll see you again soon on the Bad Scripts Podcast. But for now, bye. Bad Scripts was written and performed by Mike Garlia and Steve Jones, a Beach Tide production.